Hi, Internet viewers. Frank Rauscher again. We are marching on, and we are going to map out the blank and cut it up so that we can get it from a block of wood where we can cut out the profile. And I'm going to show you how to do that on the bandsaw, and then we'll do the top view, which goes on top, and I'll show you how to do that as well. And then we'll cut it out, and what we'll end up with, hopefully, is we'll get a blank like this. Now, these are basswood, and I know I've had some people inquire about how I make my, or what wood I use for my blanks, and I do use basswood, but I do have a little bit of tupelo, and by request only, if you want it. If it's small items, I could probably do it. It'll be like a little extra if you want it in the kit, for the kit and so on. I will have kits available if anybody wants to follow along on this project. It's a real cute bird. I don't know if I showed you that before. Let me get this, and I'll slide this over. I've been working on a few items here that I have, and here's the kinglet. It's the Golden-Crowned Kinglet, and I have this. It's a fat, chubby little guy, and he's little. He's not that big. And I think this is a real neat item, or bird, I should say, to have done, okay? And it's, I'm not saying it's going to be fast, but it ain't going to be long, I don't think, because it's not that big of a bird. And we're going to try to do a little texturing different than I've done on the other birds. Like, I'm going to show you different ways of going about doing it. Some areas I actually show like the feathering, or at least we allude to the feathering, and you've seen styles like I did in some birds where we ghost them in, and it's the technique of how we burn it. In this case here, I'm actually going to texture it with a diamond bit this time, and it will not really have a pattern of feathering, but it mimics almost the bird exactly the way it is on top. And what I'm talking about, let me pull this one off. This here in the mantle area and through the head here, I'm going to keep it very feathery and just vein it without lifting a lot of feathers, and we'll do that throughout into here, but we're definitely going to lift the feathers and so on, and the tail feathers and things like that. And in the breast area we will do some stoning in there, and I'll show you. We'll do some lifting with bits, and then we'll stone over it. So I'll show you different other techniques that we haven't done on every bird. We'll do it on this one. And I try to do a variety of stuff. The position that I did on this one compares to other birds is I have it, let me get the pattern up here for a second so you can see. But I have the position of the bird, the tail sort of going up and the head sort of looking upward too. And sometimes I have it going straight out, but this is like going this way, and the tail is up. And then I did a drop wing, which is what I think looks pretty natural for the kinglet. So I try to do that and give you a variety. Now, on this pattern, I show you both sides of how the feathers lay. So if you really have to, sometimes I don't give you the other side, but it's the same, and maybe it's hard for you guys to do it. So in this case here, I showed you both sides. So you have a right side and a left side of this bird, and then you have the top view, and then I'm going to also have the underneath side for the tail. Okay, so we'll try to give you everything. We got the measurements in there, and we'll I'm going to try to keep this as close to how the real bird sort of looks, you know, in that aspect, and we'll try to make it interesting looking. So I hope you're going to enjoy this one. If you do, I would ask you if you would give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. That would greatly help me out in the algorithms of YouTube. And if anybody ever wants to contribute to me, I'd appreciate that as well. Everything helps as far as generating more videos and things like that. So if you enjoy and you can afford to give me anything, that would be great. I've been doing this for a long time, and I'm hoping that you guys are really enjoying it. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to teach you as much as I know and have you go from there. And we will be doing different birds along the way. I know some people have suggested certain birds. Now, on the bigger birds, some of the problems I'm having a little bit is getting the wood. Okay, wood used to be very available, at least for basswood. Now, the tupelo, that's another story. If you're in certain parts of the country, probably tupelo is a lot easier for you to get. So I just want to let you know that I can accommodate some of you if you wanted to do it in tupelo, but for bigger birds and stuff like that, I don't have a lot of tupelo, so I can accommodate you for some and not for others. I do have a catalog available if anybody's interested. It's like a 5-sheet catalog, and I can send that to you if you write to me, and my email address is Rauscher, R-A-U-S-C-H-E-R, Frank, F-R-A-N-K, 7 @gmail.com. And if you request the catalog, I can send that out to you, and then you can contact me and let me know what you like. And I have a variety of stuff. I do sell the equipment that I use, as well as the wood burners and the pens and so on. So I will try to help you out wherever I can. And if you need assistance, I'll gladly fire away on questions and so on. I'll try to get you over the hump wherever you may have a problem. At least I'll try to anyway. I don't know if I have all the answers. But if I don't have some of the stuff you're looking for, and I do have more than what the catalog shows. If you call me or write to me, I could let you know what I have, and I'll give you pricings and so on, stuff like that. So I hope you enjoy this project here. I think it'll be a fun one. And then I'll give you ideas along the way and stuff like that. And I hope you enjoy it. So we're going to move on. I'm going to take you to my back room, and we will cut out the blank, and I'll show you how I do that. So I start from a block of wood, as we did in the first video, and this one we'll be cutting it out, and then from there we'll just build on. Okay, so I hope you enjoy this one, and hang in there, and we'll show you how to do it. So, see you in a minute. Okay, we're back again. We got the top view on that we did, and I'll show you how we cut that out. I'm going to start doing the tail first. I come in on the tail, find that line. Then I come in on an angle here because this is a dropped wing. Let me get that out of the way. And I come in from the side here and all the way around. I always try to keep my hand away from the blade if I can possibly do it. Okay? So I'm going to do the other side. Follow that line up. Then I'll take a little bit more of an opening here. I'm going to trim this right at the edge there, just to get the excess off. Now I'm going to follow this, coming up and around. Okay? So here we go. Stick this in here. Get this thing started, and then I usually grab the back of the tail. Follow the pencil line right around to the tip of the beak. Okay? Now here's what I do to alleviate some of the work that has to be done. If you look at this pattern, this blank, it is pretty squared up. So to save a little bit of the grinding away of wood, I knock a 45-degree chamfer on the corners here, but I don't want to go up to the beak. It's really skimpy there, and I'll do the same thing on the other side. I'll hold the blank. You're supposed to tilt the table, but I don't. And you've got to be careful too. I'll be honest with you. This isn't the best way to do this, but it's the way I've been doing it. And what I do, let me come back. I'm going to do a little more. Really didn't cut that much off there. And all it's doing is trying to get some of the waste between here and here. You're going to have to grind this to get this rounded in this body. So there we are. It is cut out with the top view and the profile view. Okay? So I'll take you back to the table and we'll start marking a little bit of this up. Okay? So I hope you can see what happens when I cut these things out. Hang on. All right, now that we're back, we have the profile cut out. Now what I'm going to show you, we're going to get the template for the top view, and I'm going to hold it like this. Now, if you're seeing it, I'm not laying it down. I'm holding it up on the head here so that your tendency is to lay everything down, but you want to make sure that the tip of the beak is on the wood and your tail is touching the back end, okay? And you have a profile like that. So it's not a lay down. So what I do is I look down from the top and I draw my line along here, and then I'm trying to follow the outline as close as I can. In some cases, you can lay it right up against there, and if you're holding the pattern steady enough, you can come in. I'm gonna draw around the drop wing here, and then I'm also gonna draw a line coming back for the tail. Then I'm looking down and I'm sending my pencil over to the other. Well, maybe I better do it on and do a flip shop here. I'm going to come on this side of the beak and then come up on this head like this, and then I'm going to spin this around, but I still want to keep this the same. So it gets a little tricky here. So I want to make sure where my edge is and where my pencil lines are, we're in the same ballpark, okay? So I'm going to come over here and I'm looking straight down along the tail, Then I'm going to come out where the drop wing is and come around here. And then I'm going to draw along the outside of the template here and come around, and hopefully, if I did that correctly, it matches up, or it's pretty close to it. So there's what I want to do. Okay, but here's the thing. Make sure that this length and this length matches up. I probably shortchanged myself. So if you could check that this side and that side have the same length, that would be great. So you could come around here and do something like that. And let me just see if I went a little too far. Yeah, this could come back a little bit so you don't cut in. So if you came up to here, like it's showing on this, for that length, that's what we have here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the back again, and I'm going to start on the tail. I'll cut the tail line in here, and then I'll make another pass coming right up on the wing here that drops. Then I'll cut this portion off and then come all the way up, right on up to the beak. And then I do the other side, and then cut another slit in here to separate the tail from the wing, and then come around and then come all the way up and swing in, and we'll get that out. So we're going to do this in the back room, and we'll get this going, and this will be the top view. And if we get lucky, when you get done, you should have something that looks like this. Okay, we have, and the template would fit right over top of it. Okay, this is the thing, and it's not a lay down, it's like this. You're up off the what's the name, the wood itself. It's like, this is how it really is when you look down, even though it's not laying down. So if you do it like this, you're going to end up having things slightly off. This is a view with the head up and the tail down, and that's why they don't match up. They are a true view of looking straight down on the bird, okay? But you have this distortion, and that's what we're accommodating here. But it's not that big a deal, okay? So I just wanted to let you know that before we go back and start cutting that out, and then I'll show you how to do that. So hang in there with me, and we'll get that rolling too. Okay, we're in my back room here, where my bandsaw is. I'm going to show you how to cut this out, or lay this out to the pattern we had that we did on the first video. And we made the template. Now what I'm going to do is cut it out. So I'm going to turn on the bandsaw. It's going to make a little noise, but here we go. I'm going to follow the pattern. As closely as I can get. Now, the thing I wanted to also express to you, I'm using a bandsaw. It's only 1/4 of an inch wide. It's called a 6-hook tooth because it grabs and it holds the line much better. I've been using this for years. And I really like this one. Now, if you're dealing with bigger pieces of wood, sometimes a wider bandsaw is more conducive to your cuts. But as far as what I find, when you're doing cutouts like what we're doing here, the thinner one, the 1/4 inch one, works out great. And I've been using it for years. So I want to get as close to the line as I could get. And what we're going to do, there we are. Now there's the outline. You can see I didn't get quite as close to the line, but I'm pretty close. So this is what we want to try to achieve as far as getting the profile out, okay? Now I'm going to take you back to my workbench and we're going to do the top view, okay? But I wanted to show you how we get this going, okay? So I will take a break here and we'll go back to my work area and then you could see exactly how I do the top, okay? Okay, we're back, and the last thing I want to do on this video, and then we'll march on to start really getting more into the shaping and everything else. We want to identify the center line. So we need a center line for the body, and then you got a center line for the head. Now here's how I do it. I'm going to come down to the tail here. The tail's not quite 1 inch across. It's about 7/8. So I'm going to find the middle and I'm going to put a dot right there. So let me heavy that up so you can see it. So there's a dot there. And then I'm going to come up right about here between my fingers, and that would be about the widest part, or pretty close to it. And we'll measure across, and it looks like it's 1 3/8, give or take a little bit. Yeah, we'll say about 1 3/8. So I want this on edge, not the chamfered edge, but the outside edge out here, and the same way on the other side. So it's 1 3/8. So half of that is a 1/2 inch is the inch, and then the 3/8 will be 3/16, and that ends up as like 11/16, I think. So I got a dot here, which is the middle between these 2 points, and a dot between the tail. Now, I'm going to get my flexible ruler. Hopefully it's flexible enough, or maybe not. Let me get my other one here. This is like a real bendable ruler. I'm going to lay this down like this. And I'm going to get the dots on edge here. I got a dot here and a dot here. And I'm going to draw a straight line right through there up to the top of the head, okay? And then I'm going to carry this down, straight down to the other side. And then we said we would come in, I think overall we had 11/16 in from the end, because it's from outside edge to outside edge, it's 1 3/8, and half of that is 11/16, if I did that right. And then I will try to line this up with the dot with the end of the tail. Let me do it this way. This won't slide as much down here. This is I got this from the dollar store. This is a material for shelving, and it's great because it doesn't allow things to slide. So that's a handy way of getting a third hand in there in a sense. So I'm going to lay this at that dot down there, try to draw a straight line there, up through here, and that would be sufficient. You don't have to go all the way up to the top, just to establish it. And when you look at it from the back end, you should be in the same plane, okay? Now, I had these markings. I was supposed to cut a little closer. I didn't, but no big deal. I'm going to come in and just erase this out of here and this out of here. I should have cut that a little closer, but that was me. Now, here's what I do. I have a dot, which is right at the peak of the beak, right there. That's the dot. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my ruler, and I'm going to do this. You see the wedge we have in here? I want to get about, let me hold this down with my one hand, and I'm going to come across, and from this point to this point, I want to get like 3/4. Okay, so when I have a measurement from this side, where I get my ruler, is the 1 inch mark is right there, and I move this up to where this is on edge and this is on edge. This is 3/4 across. I'm going to come in the middle here, and that'll be 3/8. So I have the middle of this wedge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my ruler, and I'm going to go from the tip of the beak and draw a straight line through that dot here. So I have it here, and I'm coming straight up, and I'm going to take that back. Okay, all in the same plane. And this is the body center line, okay? So this is the head center line, and this is the body center line. So I'm going to ask you to do that, and then when we go to the next video after this, I will start rounding this over, and I'll show you how to put the shapes in, get the shoulder in, and we'll start shaping this up, and we'll get this thing rolling, okay? So that then after that, we'll probably go right for the head after we sort of get the body rounded. This all has to get rolled, okay? Because if you look at this guy right here, he's really rolling all the way around. Now, you see a cut in here. This is some of the tricks you can do when you're trying to mount a bird. Instead of having the bird standing on a branch, I'll show you some of the tricks I did here. I have a branch sticking out, but I wanted the bird to just sit on the branch. So what I did is I cut into the bird so that it fits right in there, as snug as a bug, matching the branch, and that's how I'm going to mount them. Now I'm going to stick some toes out the bottom so that he shows a couple of toes sticking out, but for the most part, that's what I'm doing on this one, rather than have him with legs, okay? Because I just felt as though he would look proper, fluffed up, and onto a base like that. You could do it that way, or you can mount it with legs, whichever your preference is. I just happen to have a branch, and what I do is I cut in so that he looks like he's sitting right in tight on the branch, okay? And he becomes part of the branch, even though it's not that way. But I want to show you some of the tricks that I do as far as mounting goes. So hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, like I said, give me a thumbs up And if you can subscribe to my channel, I'd appreciate that as well. And if you have any friends that you can put them onto my channel as well, I'd appreciate that too. And I thank you very much. And if anybody needs anything, if you want to try this bird, I do have kits available. Just write to me to my email address, and I will get the catalog right out to you. And or you can just ask for the kit, and I can send that out to you, and we can get you going. Okay, so see you on the next video, and I hope you enjoyed this one as well.